Fortnite, Apex Legends, GTA Online, Counter-Strike, Sea of Thieves, Rocket League, League of Legends, Warzone, PUBG, Valorant, Overwatch 2, Rust, Rainbow Six Siege. What do all of these games have in common? They're all live service games. Live service games are games that are regularly updated in order to maintain an active player base for as long as possible, and getting those players to purchase microtransactions. This is a model that has existed for many years, but why do so many live service games have problems such as an unsatisfied fanbase or a declining fanbase? Well, one big culprit is how those games do updates. For most games, every few months, there's one update that varies in size, and for many live service games, those updates are normally very big. The season trend has been around for over a decade, starting in 2011 with Noire and Mortal Kombat, but it has recently made a resurgence with games such as Fortnite, PUBG, and Apex Legends. Many games today have adopted the season pass model, but in many cases, it just doesn't work. This is because players are almost always either unsatisfied with a season update, saying it didn't add enough content, or on the other hand, saying that it added too much content and that the game is changing too much. The majority of players are never satisfied, and there are many examples of this because it happens time and time again. Take a look at Fortnite for example. Every season update there's a portion of the player base that is upset that the game is changing too much, but I'd bet you that if Fortnite released a season update with much less content than normal, keeping it simple, those same players would complain that there aren't adding enough content and that it's a bad update. Fortnite OG was a huge success, but I think it's a good thing that it only lasted 1 month, because if it was longer, it would get kind of boring. It was great seeing the old map back and reliving good memories, but there just isn't a lot of content on the old map compared to the following chapters. After all, Fortnite did hit the record for concurrent players with Fortnite OG, but then they beat it in less than a month with the release of Chapter 5, and Chapter 5 notoriously has too much content, with the new map, new movement, Fortnite Festival, rocket racing, and most importantly, LEGO Fortnite. This shows that there's an audience for both models, a game that keeps it simple, and a game that adds an overwhelming amount of content. And Fortnite is sometimes both, meaning the entire player base can never be satisfied at once, because they all want different things. And this isn't just for Fortnite. Take a look at Minecraft. Even though Minecraft isn't technically a live service game because it doesn't have any microtransactions, at least on Java, Minecraft Bedrock is full of microtransactions, Minecraft's player base is notorious for always being very divided about updates. Anytime Mojang releases a big update, there is of course a percentage of the player base that is happy about the update, but there's an arguably larger percentage of the player base that is unhappy with the update, saying it's changing too much and the game is becoming too different from what it once was. In my opinion, those players are trying to cling on to nostalgia, trying to savor the good old days of the game, while in reality, change is good. It keeps players returning and invites new players in to try the game out for the first time. But Minecraft players, as we all know, can be unsatisfied with small updates, saying that they're too boring and not adding enough content. This puts developers in a position where they just can't win. It's impossible to satisfy everyone. It's always either an update that changes too much or not enough. Look at the Caves and Cliffs update for example. One of Minecraft's biggest updates, adding a much needed revamp to terrains in the underground. But there's still a portion of players, and maybe you watching this video are part of this group too, who thought it changed too much, and that the game is straying further and further away from its roots, and the simplicity of what made it so great in the first place. And hey, I get it. I get the feeling when you see your favorite game becoming something that it once wasn't. It's slowly becoming unrecognizable from the game you first fell in love with. Let's take a look at some of these games. Games that have been changed so much that many OG players don't even enjoy playing the game anymore. CS2. With the transition of CSGO to CS2, many players have been turned off to the game because they don't like the feel of CS2, and how an extremely popular game suddenly revamped for seemingly no reason. I personally enjoy CS2, I think it feels very fresh, and maybe even more fun to play than CSGO for me, but CS2 has ultimately left the fanbase divided. Overwatch 2. On the topic of sequels, Overwatch 2 sits on the other end of the spectrum from CS2, because many players believe it changed too little, and it's the same game it always was, just with the removal of loot boxes and a pointless name change. Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow has had a declining fanbase for years, and a culprit of this could be the updates. Many old fans of the game who have been playing it since its release can't keep up with the gameplay and meta changes, leaving them with a game they don't recognize. Warzone. With the removal of the beloved map Verdansk 2 years ago, the majority of players have been unhappy. Many players don't like any of the new maps released since then, and believe that the game is a shell of what it once was.
Also, some of Warzone's player base is very questionable.
Luiso, how old are you?
I'm 4. No, I'm 5.
You're 5?
Rust. This is honestly going to be more of a positive one. In my opinion, Rust has added necessary content updates over the years to keep the game fresh and keep the players coming back. They add new updates rather frequently and test them on the staging branch first to generate feedback from the players. Although, with a ton of new content added, the framerate has become worse and worse for mid to low end PCs, so hopefully that can get fixed soon, because I don't know how much more I can handle playing on 50 FPS.
While I've been editing this video for the past like 2 months, this has actually gotten better. Rust has actually fixed this. The frame rate has gotten a little better. I used to get 50 FPS, now I get about 70, which is an improvement, but it's still not amazing.
Of course, there's always a subsection of players who think Rust is straying too far away from what it came from, but that's with every game. But overall, good job Rust. But at the end of the day, change is inevitable, and it's something that is necessary in life. and for the survival of games. If all game developers listened to their communities and added only necessary updates that people would enjoy, while keeping the game accessible for casual players and long-term fans, we would have a much better gaming space in 2024. That's it from me. Subscribe if you watch all the way to the end, and if you don't feel like doing that, just drop a like. Click the video right here, and goodbye.